Welcome to Outlaw Woodworking. Today we're going to do a fun project and make an American flag, a rustic American flag. And here's the flag that we made, and it was really easy to do, and let me show you how to do it. The first thing I do is set my stop block on my chop saw to 37 inches, and I cut some of my scrap lumber to 37 inches. I then take it over to the table saw and proceed to rip them into 1.5 inch wide strips. And you need 13 of them altogether. I cut 15 of them just so I'd have a couple extra that I could choose from. Then I took my torch and I burned all 4 sides of each board, and just to give it that kind of rustic look that everybody goes for. I then laid them out and kind of separated them into darkness, the light ones and dark ones, trying to make stripes out of them. I then proceeded to stain the stripes, the ones that needed to be red and the ones that needed to be blue, and got those all stained. Once I got them all laid out, I then proceeded to kind of set them all together and just make sure that I had all the staining done. And basically just after this I let it dry, and then I come back and I glue the whole thing together. Now the next time I do this, I'm going to biscuit cut these. I'm going to biscuit joint these, because a couple of them, they didn't lay flat, but I ended up liking it anyway, because it just gives it that rustic look, and it really came out nice in the end. But anyway, I glue all this together, get it clamped down, and clean everything, obviously. After I get it glued the next day, I lay out all the stars, and this is where it gets kind of tedious. This is the first time I've ever done any carving with this Dremel tool, but it works really well, and I was surprised how much I liked it. The batteries did not last long in this Dremel tool. I had to constantly stop and then recharge the batteries, but it was a tedious process, but actually it did work really well, and for the first time carving these stars, I thought it turned out okay. I think I'll improve the next time, but all in all, I think it came out really good. So I just keep grinding away with this Dremel, and after I get the outline of all the stars done, I switch to a bigger bit and then start hogging out the centers of them, and that seemed to work really well. It is tedious though, so get comfortable, and I tried to make it where the way my hand was, I could just spin the flag around, and so it was comfortable to do. It took a little while to carve out all these stars, believe it or not. It was my first time doing it, so next time I'll probably be a little better at it. Here I get ready to pour the epoxy. I'm using a tabletop epoxy, 1-to-1 mixture. The first coat, I'm just pushing it into the wood. I use a spatula, and then just let this. So this first coat is going to dry for 4 hours. I've got my wood-fired oven going down in this basement, set at 75 degrees. And then 4 hours later, this is the second coat I put on. And actually, it was starting to look good. I'm surprised how much I like epoxy, actually. I'm going to keep learning how to use it better and better. So I torch it. I torch both the first coat and the second coat. And then after it dries, I flip it over and I get some wire. I didn't have any of the regular picture hanging wire, so I just grabbed some electrical wire and made my own. And I used some fender washers and screws to hold it down and twisted them around the screw. And then it was ready to go. And as a matter, I marked the center of where I wanted to hang it, and up it went. And there it is. Thanks for watching this episode of Outlaw Woodworking. This was probably one of my one of my funner projects to do. It didn't take long to make, and the stars, that was the first time that I carved any stars with the little Dremel. And it was a little tedious, but they didn't turn out too bad. Are they perfect? No. But I will, each time I'll try to improve and make the stars even nicer. I love the way that originally I was thinking that I shouldn't use any of these boards that had these screw holes in them. But now I'm really glad that I did, because it just adds character to the flag. And yeah, it was a pleasure to make. I really had a good time making it. And anyway, thank you for watching. If you want to, ring the bell. If you want to subscribe, you can do that. And like the video if you do. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.